Welcome everybody to Power Apps for Kids November 2021. This actually probably will be our last session for 2021, only because I spoke to Peter earlier on. He doesn't think we've got enough time to have one. You never know. So in this session, I've done the welcome. That's it. You've all been welcomed. The why Power Apps. We all know why we do Power Apps, because it's cool. And Leo, Craig, and Anaru are going to show just why it's so cool. Last session, what did we do? We had Leo, who showed us a Yahtzee app. I showed a Halloween pumpkin finder app. I know that Craig would love that app. It's actually Minesweeper, but with pumpkins and cauldrons. You cannot beat that. So that's what happened in the last session. Also, Anaru showed us his witches and goblins. No, it wasn't. It was ghosts. Was it ghosts?
Monsters and witches.
Monsters and witches. I should know because I checked earlier on. Monsters and witches. And Anaru also showed us a little bit of this Super Mario thing, which was so cool. We thought we would do it this week. Resources reminder, basically, if you go to Power Apps for Kids, and I don't know if I'll get the chance to show you. So just remember that you do have the opportunity to go to Power Platform, in fact, you go to powerAppsforKids.com. There's bits and pieces there, but you can go to the course that's here and you can just go and get resources, games, whatever it might be. I think I showed the World War II escape room, another one that I think Craig would enjoy. I got a very good idea of where Craig's mind goes. So this week we're going to do Yahtzee again, and Leo is going to show us, because I looked at it and I wasn't really sure how it worked. So I thought, you know what, let's give that one another go. Then we're going to slot in, sorry, Craig, I haven't got your name in here. Got Craig. Craig is going to just slot in the middle there with his Christmas games. It's actually an advent calendar, but you've got games inside it. It's very clever. We might do Leo's survey, and then the next session will be in 2022. So I'm going to stop talking now, and I am going to sit back, relax, and hand over to Leo, who's just going to be awesome. Fantastic. So I'm going to stop sharing, and Leo, over to you. Lovely to see all the people that are here today.
So here we've got the Yahtzee app. I've got a little Christmas decoration here because it's almost Christmas. It's a month till Christmas Eve. So I thought, why not add a quick Christmas decoration in? So when I've got my plate, I've got my Yahtzee game, that picture again. And on your go, you can roll the dice. You can keep dice. You can and that's 3 rolls. You can each go. There's Christmas trees to show how many rolls you've had. And on each go you can do one of these. There's the ones, which is how many of them times this number here.
Yeah.
Then 3 of a kind. If you have 3 the same, add the whole dice together. Same for 4 of a kind, just it's 4. Full house, 3. If you have 3 the same and 2 the same, you get 25 points. Small street, if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4 in a row, then you get. How many is it?
I think it's 30 points, isn't
it?
Yeah.
We'll find out.
The last street is 5 in a row, and then it's 40 points, I think. Mm-hmm. Yahtzee is 5 the same, you get 50 points. Chance, add them all together.
Yeah.
Bonus is if you get 63 over here. Anyway,
can I summarize it then for people who aren't familiar with Yahtzee? You get 3 rolls, and each time you roll, you can choose to keep the roll or get it to roll again. And so your little check boxes allow you to keep the rolls, and then once you're done with it, you can slot it into one of the score things, and then that's essentially how you play Yahtzee. And obviously, normally you play against someone else who's also doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So the new, so I think it's first good to point out how we do all of this. All this is a variable, and this one's called var number of ones.
So we do a little bit of gameplay first, Leo.
Yeah.
We can basically show how the game works. Yep.
So roll dice. I've got 1, 2, 2, 6, 4.
So what shall we go for? Shall we go for the twos?
Yeah.
So makes
I'll
sense,
check
doesn't
box
it?
the 2s.
Hey, there's an extra Christmas tree over there.
Yeah. I'll take the 6s, try and get a full house.
Oh,
What a
that's a bit
shame.
unlucky, isn't it?
That's
So,
good.
for example, I could take the 6s and I get 12. And now the first score goes up to 12. And I don't know why the total has gone up to 47.
Something's gone a little bit wrong over there. Oops.
This
A
is
couple of bonus points.
this is the joy of power ups, isn't it? It's like, why did it do that?
Oh, it's added 35 on from the bonus. I wonder if I did something wrong there. I
Oh.
wonder if I just added on the bonus. Yeah, I just added on the bonus.
Oh, okay. So that should be a bit of a condition
Yeah.
over there.
I will
Okay.
need. That's not.
We better get the bonus.
Yeah.
Badly.
Okay, let's go and try and see what happens. So if you play a few more, and we can just basically to make sure that it's all understood what we got.
1,
I think
2,
we've got a little
3,
street over
4.
there, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to keep those. Do we want to go for the large streets too?
Yeah.
Yeah. See if we
What are
can
you
get
looking
them.
for? You need a
We need a
5?
5. Huh? Yeah, we need a 5, I think.
No.
Oh, lucky.
We can still
I
take
s-
the small street and get 30.
Last
Yeah.
time you did really well, didn't you? You got loads.
Yeah, last time we got lots of
Yeah.
points. So how did you put this all together, Leah?
Yeah, so let's get into the code. So our new game is just putting all the variables back to nothing. The dice are just the dice, and selecting is just selecting something so that all the checkboxes go back to 0. If I can get that here, this is at the end of every.
It's all a little bit down, Leo, because I think people won't be able to keep up with it. So if we look over here, you've got a little bit of code over here. We've got the resets over there. So they basically reset the little controls, don't
The
they?
checkbox.
They reload the data. Okay. And then what else have you got?
The
in
roll
here?
count is the Christmas trees. The die actually doesn't need to be in the new game, but
So
it just is
we've
there.
got five die over there.
Yeah.
That's basically what we've got over there
Yeah.
as well, with the
Up
5 tick
here.
boxes kind of thing. And the little pictures that sit in front of it. Okay. So they're all being reset.
Yeah.
And they're all being done. Okay. So that's good. That's what that selecting icon does
Yeah.
in the code. So then when you click on the dice, or on that roll dice button, what happens over there?
So here, what we're doing, we're just doing a condition of if a checkbox. What did I? What was it?
You click somewhere.
If checkbox die 1, so that's our die 1, but the checkbox for it. So that's whether we're keeping that.
Yep.
If that isn't ticked, that's what this means.
Yep.
Then we're setting our die to any number in between 0 and 6. That's not counting 0 and 6.
Okay, so that's where we've got a roundup function
Yeah.
over there. And we've got a random function. So what does that random times 6 do there?
So
Or rand?
what it does, this rand function gives us a random number.
Ah, okay.
So we're then timesing it by 6 to get in between 6 and 0.
Yep.
And the 0 is how many digits afterwards we want.
Ah, so you get whole numbers.
Yeah.
Between 1 and 6.
Yeah.
That sounds like a
One-
dice to me.
Yeah, 1, 6.
Yep.
Yeah. And then we're doing the same for everything else, just different dice. And then we're also setting the roll count to the roll count plus 1.
Ah, so every single time you press it, your roll count goes up by 1.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So if I just show here, roll dice, Christmas tree, that's the roll count
Yeah.
being 1, roll count being 2, roll count being 3.
Okay, so how do those Christmas trees appear then?
So how they appear is on the visible. If roll count is greater than or equal to 1.
So that's for your first Christmas tree.
Yeah. Then for the second one, it's almost the same. It's just greater than or equal to 2.
Okay, quickly, what are you clicking on the right over there?
The visible.
On the visible thing. Okay, so then it means that the visible thing appears over there.
Yeah,
Yep.
as long as it has code.
So that means that the Christmas tree is visible when the roll count is bigger than 1 or 2, or let me guess for the next one. 3? Good.
And this one, it's just equals 3, because it's never going to be greater than 3.
No, because that button stops that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, because you can see at the moment the button has been disabled.
Yeah, I think we should show the clear check boxes. This is just resetting the check boxes. That's all it does.
So you would use that if you're on roll number 2 and think, oh, I'm doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And you want to reset it all.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Then let's think about the code here. So the score. So we're setting a variable called var number of ones.
Yep.
To basically, if var die 1 equals 1,
yep,
then we're setting it to 1.
If you move the cursor a little bit.
Setting var number of ones to 1, plus if var die 1 equals 1, then another 1, and the same for the rest of the dice. And then we're selecting that selecting button again. And that basically just redoes the var dies and the checkboxes.
Okay, so to make in short, you're setting over there a variable called var number of ones.
Yeah.
And then for each die, you're looking if it's equals to 1.
Yeah.
And if it is, you're adding 1 more point.
If not, we're not.
Okay, and then you're taking the total,
in
the total sum, and that's what all the little pluses do at the end of the line.
And
Okay, so how does the number 2 work then?
It works the exact same. It's just all the ones are 2s, and var number of ones is var number of
So why don't you show the little code on that one too then? And we'll have a look. Okay, you formatted it a little bit differently, but that's fine.
So this is, as I was saying, var number of 2s. If it equals 2, then 2. And that's the same for the rest.
Okay.
And then it follows the same pattern for 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s.
Okay, so that's quite easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once you figured out one, you can figure them all out.
Then let's take a look at the first score.
Okay.
That's just all of the variables added together.
Yep.
If we look at the bonus, then it should be, it did add to the end because I had forgotten some code, but the bonus, if the first score, so that's this label up here, dot text, so that's taking the text from it, is greater than or equal to 63, then
you get a bonus.
Yeah, then you get 35.
So that's the value of that control over there, isn't it? So you're not setting a variable over there.
No.
So could that be what the problem is? So if you go to that total thing, where was your total?
Is called apparently first half.
Yeah, okay, so it's first, its bonus field is called first half score.
Then what's this one called? First score.
Which one is the bonus thing?
Are you fixing your app on air?
Yeah, we're going to fix that live on air.
That's just so like you, Peter.
Yeah, we're going to fix that here and there. So we've got bonus. I think if you replace that, Leo, you know what to do, don't you? I think you can just use a control. Just use a control dot text.
What was it called?
What is it?
First half score.
Yeah, first half score. There we go. First half score. Dot. What are you going to make that?
Text.
Yeah. And that's it, isn't it?
Equals
that's just
35.
That'll be it. Because that's got the right value in it. Or isn't it? It's 0.
Oh, yeah.
So if you take that away, like that, I think it will work.
You probably don't need all of our number of ones anymore, do you?
For all the other ones, we use variables. So we could use control.
So the first half score, I should probably change the name of it just to bonus.
Yeah,
that will probably explain it a bit better.
Oh, you've already got something else called bonus. You need to be careful with that. Bonus field or something like that.
Bonus label.
Yeah, label.
Right.
That makes it a bit clearer here.
Yes. Yeah.
Now everything is working again fine.
Just because first half score is a bit confusing.
Yeah.
So we fixed it, and let's check that. Is 12 plus 30 42? I could get my calculator out, but I know it is.
Yeah. Good. See, live on air, you can fix.
Yeah.
Oh, real bug fixes.
Let's take a look at our 3 of a kind. So we're collecting a variable called cold dice to all our dice. then we're sorting them. And all it's doing is it's sorting them by its value. So if I just take a look at cold sort dice, didn't find any data. Okay, it would have if I just go.
Because it hasn't run yet, has it?
To go up though.
You have to press the button for that first.
Yeah, if I now go here, cold sort.
You have to press the button, I think, first, don't you? You haven't pressed that button yet.
Which button?
The button that runs this bit of card.
Oh yeah.
See? If you press that button, you score that one. If you now look at it.
Did I get a 3 of a kind? I didn't.
Oh, maybe I don't know.
See?
So if you look over here, see if you can get it on the screen a little bit. A little bit of a small screen over here. See, there we go.
It's sorted.
Yep.
So you can see I did have a 3 of a kind.
So when you look at the dice, you've got A1, you've got A2, and 3 sixes.
Yeah.
And we've sorted that, haven't you?
Yeah.
So how did you sort it?
We're just using a sort. Sort function.
Yep.
Very easy to know that it's sorting something.
Yep.
So we're sorting cold dice by its value.
And cold dice was the one thing that you created earlier on in this code.
That's just all the dice.
So that's a list of all the dice that you've got. Yeah. Okay.
Then we're taking the first 3, and this first n basically takes the first, and then the n. I think it stands for number or so, because there's a number here as it says up here, count. So it's how many numbers from the first, because it's calling it first.
So in our case, that will be 1, 2, 6.
Yeah.
Yep. Because we had 1, 2, 6, 6, 6 in the
Then we're also doing the last 3.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing, just its last n.
So they will be 6, 6, 6.
Yeah.
In this case, yeah.
Then the middle 3, which is the last 3, but it's the first 4.
Oh, you might want to explain that a little bit.
So if we're taking the first 4, that means we're taking 1, 2, 6, and 6.
So that is the first 4 of my 5 dice.
Yeah. And then let's take the last 3 from that.
Yeah.
2, 6, 6.
Yeah. And
that's how it calculates it. Yeah. Then you get the middle one. Then we're just looking at if first 3, the first of the first 3 equals the last of the first 3.
Yeah.
And the first 3 equals the last first n of the first 3.
That's the middle one, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it basically takes the middle one.
Yeah.
And then we're doing the same thing for the middle 3 and the last 3.
Yeah.
And if that's true, we're just setting the var 3 of a kind of our die 1 plus var die 2 plus var die 3 plus die 4 plus die 4 plus die 5.
Okay, so that
otherwise we're saying it's 0.
So that means what you're doing is you're first creating 3 sets of dice.
Yeah.
And you're doing it 3 times. So the first 3, the middle 3, the last 3. And then you're going to compare if any of those 3s are 3 the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've got this selecting thing again. That's just doing it on every button just to reset everything.
It will reset everything. Okay, that's good.
It's almost for the 4th kind. It's just first and last 3. So
the first and last 4, isn't it?
Last 4.
Yeah, and then you're comparing the 4 then. Yeah. Okay.
Which is slightly different calculations. Then let's take a look at the full house though. So we're doing that first thing of cold dice.
Yeah.
Same thing of cold sort dice. First thing of first 3.
Yeah.
Then we're taking the last 2.
Yeah. And then we can compare those as well, can't we? So we can compare the first 3, if they're all the same, and if the last 2 are the same. Okay.
Then we're taking the first 2 and the last 3.
Because that's another option, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Once you've sorted them, it could either be the first 3 and the last 2 that are the same, or the first 2 and the last 3.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's clever.
That's the only way it can be once we've sorted them.
Yep.
Then we're setting our... I missed a bit here.
No,
we're setting our full house. So if the first of the first 3 equals the last of the first 3, and last 2 equals the last of the last 2, then 25.
And you get 25 points. The full house is 25 points, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we could just put this in the same if, but then if that's not happening, if the var full house equals 0 still.
Yeah, so it means you haven't got a full house yet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we're just doing the last 3 and first 2.
Yep.
But if that's not true, then there's no other way you can get a full house. So then you've got 0.
So that means you press the button possibly.
Yeah.
While there is no full house.
Yeah.
And then you get 0 points.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good idea.
So
we have a look at those streets, because I'm quite interested in how you've done that bit.
So
that must be a lot of code, I think.
No, it's very different.
Is it?
Yeah. So
Okay.
we've got our coal dice.
Yep.
We do not have the coal sort dice. We could, but that would just be extra code for the streets. Then we have this bit here. So we have, if 1 is in, that's what in means. So it means if for example, here we've got 1 is in our coal dice.
Yep.
And,
so that's our collection of all the dice.
Yeah.
We've
And
got
2
1.
and 3 and 4 is in there. And then same for the other options. And then we've got these 2 lines, and they just mean or. However, we've also got these brackets around them, but we've got no function before them. So what is it for? It's basically so that Power Apps knows it's all of this that it's comparing together.
Okay, so it's the first line.
Yeah.
Or, well, that's what those 2 lines where you said. Or it is the second line, or it is the third line.
Yeah.
And then what does the first line say? So that's if number 1 is in all my dice.
And number 2 and
or
number
2
3.
and number 3 and number 4. Okay.
The second one is 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yep.
The last one is 3, 4, 5, and 6. I almost forgot 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay, well that's good.
And then
we get points?
Then we're setting our small street to 30. If not, it's 0.
Okay, so if I press the button and I don't have a small street, I get 0 points.
Yeah.
Well, that's a shame.
Then we've got Yahtzee, which is very simple.
Is it?
It's just if set our Yahtzee to if var die 1 is greater than 0 and it equals all the other dice, then we get 50 points. Otherwise, we get 0.
Okay, so if all the dice are the same, we're getting 50 points.
Yeah.
And if not, we're unlucky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
we're almost running out of buttons, I think.
Yeah. Then we're taking our chance, which is just all of them added together.
Oh, that's easy.
Yep. And then we have our total, which is just add all of them together. This is where we fixed it earlier just now, the bonus label.text.
So taking all of the variable names
and adding them together.
Adding them all together. And we're even adding the bonus.
If we've got a bonus.
If you've got a bonus. Okay, well, that's quite good.
Yeah.
So I think that's the whole... Oh, I've got one more question.
What?
How did you get Rudolph, the reindeer, over there?
Okay, so I went online and I got a photo of a reindeer because I couldn't find a Rudolph. I'm sure it's very simple, but I wanted one like this.
Mm-hmm.
Then I photo edited it and I made a bit of a red nose. It might be clear if I let's play over there.
Yeah.
Then I also edited it and put the Power Apps for Kids logo in and put some tinsel on the side of it.
Oh, that looks really good. So that makes it into a Christmas Yahtzee, doesn't it? Yeah.
And all of these are circles and Christmassy colours. I've basically tried to make it as much as possible like Christmas.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Are you ready for Christmas?
Yeah.
Have you bought me any presents?
Not sure.
Keep the secrets. Okay, I think that shows the whole app, isn't it, Leo?
That's the whole app, yeah.
So I think we need to share this app on Power Apps for Kids as well.
I think it's on.
I think the previous version was on there, but the one that didn't have all the Christmassy stuff on it. I think we need to have the one with the Christmas stuff on it.
Well, what we can do with that is if you share it to me, I can put it onto. In fact, I've literally just put Craig's app onto there. Although Craig's app, as we've discovered, only works in America. It is it's not quite a racist app, but it's.
Well, I figured out we put a little like disclaimer on there. If you go in your browser and change your language to United States
Oh, of
English,
course, we
it will
should do
work.
that, shouldn't we? Then we'll never understand the date
Because
ever.
I looked at it last night trying to go, how can I get around the date thing? That's the only thing I can find so far. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like,
Yeah.
so the joke, I know this is recording, but us in the States, it seems like, we decided to do everything backwards to everybody else in the world. So, we create our own unique date. We also do not do Celsius. We don't do metrics. We just decided, we're going to do inches. We're going to do Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
We're going to put the year, the month before the day.
I do worry when they say it's in the 90s over in America. I think, wow, that's really hot. They're almost all boiling over there. So I'm conscious of time, and what I want to do now, thank you so much, Leo. I think I now actually understand your app, and I actually respect it even more than I did last time, because I didn't realize the cool things that you'd done to do with the streets. And obviously the Yahtzee is quite kind of straightforward, isn't it? But like the full house, some really interesting things going on there. And I think there's also almost opportunities to also do things in other interesting ways, like, when you have potentially, you could actually have your I think the way in which you've done the dice would be the way I'd probably do it as well, because you kind of need them independent. But like the way in which you'd use collections was I like that. Yeah, I think there's definitely like other opportunities for working out, making it do the thing you want it to do. But it's all worked. That's the bottom line. It all works, which is brilliant. Yep. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do now is, if it's okay, I'm only going to give you a short little run at this, Craig. So Craig was on the they do a session on a Wednesday. It's the kind of the big community call, and Craig was invited on there, and definitely brought an awful lot of humor to. I need to make you a presenter, actually. Let me go on to, now that is going to be interesting. I need to make sure you're a presenter. Craig Moore. Make co-host, that should do. So Craig was invited onto the session, and he showed this advent calendar that he'd put together, and it was an awful lot of fun. And now I actually tried to play it, and I played it on easy, medium, and hard. It's just mad beyond belief. So I'm going to pass over to Craig so that he can demonstrate the advent calendar that he put together. But you're probably only going to have a little bit of time. You've probably got 5 minutes, if that's okay, because I know Aniru's really excited to show off his amazing stuff.
Yep, no problem. We will definitely keep it to quick as we can. So, so can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
All right.
It's all clear.
All right, thanks. So definitely appreciate it. My name is Craig Gregory. I actually am in Arizona, and so, but I presented out the Microsoft Power Apps community call a couple weeks ago. So this one is the Advent calendar. We got our snowfall and definitely Christmassy. And what it is when you get to December, this becomes active, and then every day you're able to open up a window. And then when we get to the 18th, the purple present will show up. And when you get to the 23rd, the yellow present will show up. And so what we got is we open up the windows, and there's pictures behind each of those windows. And right now this is set to the 31st. So that way I could show everything, but you get to click and we can hit reset. And we've got our snow falling on the timer, repeating timer. So let's go ahead and get it to the games, because I'm going to do these quick. So we'll do our capture the reindeer. And so we're going to have some reindeer show up above the actual chimney. And this works a little bit better. Like I told the big kids is, if you got a touch screen, works a whole lot better. I'm going to do this clicking the mouse, which makes it fun. We're just going to do hard. We're going to go fast. Got 20 seconds. So we're going to hit hard, sets my variables. I'm going to hit a start game, and here we go. We're going to try to click on some reindeer. we're trying to click them as many times as they show up before they disappear. And like I said, try to click these while I'm on a mouse. It makes it really fun. Oh, come here. Where you at? Nope, nope. You keep moving. Did I get any? Oh, I got 13.
That is it. That was, I only managed, I actually got less on, no, what was it? Something weird. Like I got less on hard than I got on normal, but I literally decided I would just click in the one cell every time. And I thought that was a tactic I could use because it was happening so quick. But anyway.
Yeah. So that's our capture the reindeer. So let's go back. And then this one, I think everybody was like, so we have our lovely, this is going to be catch the elf. So we're going to look at the instructions. So it's catch the elf. You got 1 minute to catch an elf or elves moving across the shelves. Click them as many times as you can. If you get the right one, you gain points. If you get the wrong one, you lose points. So, and then we also have a point scale so you can see like what the easy each level is worth. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and hit hard because we'll get 60 seconds for this, but we'll go hard. So I got 2 elves that I'm trying to look for. That's going to go across the screen. And we're going to go ahead and hit start. I'm going to just kind of see if I can find the right elf. And here we go. Got my 60 seconds and there they go. and I get stockings too. Oh no, go it down. Wrong elf. Oh, come here, come here, come here, come here. Can I get a third stocking? Come on, give me a third stocking. Oh.
So aren't they? They all look fine to me. They all look the same. Are they not?
They're not. There are some that are different. So, all right, I'm at like 37. So see if I click on this guy, I'm going down. Now I'm at 35.
Okay.
And now I'm going back up again. So yeah, there's so 2, 1, 0. So, and then it also keeps track of like how many points you earned too. There's a total of 6 stockings. I cannot get all 6 stockings on hard with mouse clicking, but I do know it's possible touching a screen because you could touch the screen a whole lot faster. So, but
I like how you've probably got your own, Craig Gregory House League table of high scores, and you're probably the world champion of this particular game, aren't you?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it was fun. I had my wife try, and then, but see, it was a little bit more for me.
Yeah, this is really cool though. I mean, how do people play it? Because we know we've got a little bit of a funny to do with the dates and so on. So I wonder if can they play it if there's a date thing, if it's, have we got a way of fixing it so that we can get the dates working? Or
so
if it's in edit mode, you can get to the games and so on. That's fine.
Yeah. The outright, the only thing I found so far is if you actually go into, like, if you got Chrome, if you actually go into the language setting and change it from whatever your language is to the English US, it will be fine. You can, it'll pick it up outright.
Wouldn't it work if in the code you add your local settings?
Yeah, that might work
in there.
Okay, well,
but it was fun. And the background just for the kids is, I don't know how many's ever been at a fair, so part of it is like a little bit of Christmas with the elf, but where I got the shelf thing is like at a fair when I was growing up. You go to it and you had the little going across, and you get to like shoot at the little items, and that was kind of the.
It's a great app, and I think that under the hood in reality, all the clever stuff you've done to do with the artwork and so on, that's what really makes a big difference on this app. Yeah, plenty to learn. There's a lot of cool things. In fact, people love people love the snowflakes and falling at different speeds.
They were more of the snowflakes than the game.
That was funny, wasn't it? Yeah. So, so this is available if you go to the course. I've actually put it onto the Power Apps for Kids course. Just bear in mind, if you want to use it, you can just go onto it and just navigate to the page with the games. So if you want to play the games and so on, that's good enough. But thank you. So, Craig, you're in Arizona.
Correct.
We've already had Leo, who is in United Kingdom. And now we are going to move across to Anaru, who is in Iceland, I believe.
In India.
Oh, India. I knew it began with an I.
By the way, Chris, it was a great app. I loved the animation. If you wanted to improve, you could add some Jingle Bells carol sound or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't added any sound to it, but that's what folks did tell me from the actual Microsoft meeting. So I've been thinking about trying to figure out where I could squeeze that in. So
yeah, sound is good. Brilliant. So Anaru.
Yeah, I'm gonna start sharing right now. Okay.
Try not to confuse me too much.
Okay, let's start. Hello everyone, and I'm Anirudh. I'll be talking about a Mario game which I made using model-driven Power App. So let's get started. Okay, this is about myself. I'm a 9-year-old tech enthusiast, and I'm the world's youngest Azure AI certified and second youngest Power Platform certified in the world. My programming journey started when I was 5 with Lego Boost, block programming. Yeah. So my dad was working on platform, so I wanted to build apps using it. I also learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Okay, let me show you the demo. Now, okay, this is the demo. Let's go to the home page. Okay, this is my Mario Power App. I'm just going to make it full screen so you can see the app. Okay, now this is my Mario game. I did a few improvements and I have the sound, but I don't know what's the problem with Zoom. I can't play the sound. You can't share the system audio. So, okay, if I click how to play, it'll show you how to play, click up or hit space to jump. And if you're on a mobile device, it will automatically detect by using your, it'll detect and it will show you mobile things. Okay, now let us play the game. These two buttons I'll talk about later. Okay, wait, I'll just play the game. I wrote, okay. And I'll just, okay, this is the game. Mario game. Yeah, it's some this is the Mario game. You can play the game. There's some Goombas. You can fight them and do all these. And it has a timing also. And it has the worlds and etc. You can play the game and collect all the points. Can you hear the sound?
Yeah.
Okay. So I added sound that time when I presented. I haven't added sound, so I've added new graphics and new features. So it shows a new, yeah.
So if I can sort of, I'm going to say not summarize, but what we're looking at here is what they call a model-driven Power App. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a model-driven Power App.
And it's a special type of Power App. Now, most of us in Power Apps for Kids have not been building model-driven apps. We've been building what we call canvas apps. Now, canvas apps are kind of drag and drop, you know, kind of what you see is what you get and you connect to data in a certain way. Whereas model-driven apps are special, but in a different way. They're still called Power Apps, but they're not quite the same. And that means that Anirudh has been able to kind of dig into other resources that have then meant, so what we're not going to find on this is that he's not going to be talking about this is label 123 dot image or whatever it is. It's not, these are not objects within a Canvas app. These are actual and this is the bit what he's going to get onto later on, is that these are actual some kind of web resource. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go deep dive into that right now. I'll just switch the tab to my PowerPoint right now. Okay, I showed you the demo. Okay, so this is a level builder which I showed you. I made a level builder to build levels. That code was right. That level I built was the level which I built with the level builder. So these are the blocks, and so equals means a brick, and dollar means a coin, and coin surprise is a percentage, and the mushroom surprise is a star, and a Goomba or evil shroom is a ups arrow. Okay, let me just show you a quick demo of the level builder. Okay, after that I'll show you what is the web resource and how it works. Okay, I'll just show you the demo. Okay, so this is the demo. Okay, I'll just show you the level builder demo right now. Okay. This is my level builder, and this is the level config. I'll explain that later in my presentation. Okay, now let us start building the game. Now I'll just mute the sound for now. Now you can just put a few blocks over here and make a ground. But what I'm going to do is build a level. So I'm just going to put a few spaces over here. The game needs a spaces. So spaces is just a blank area. If you don't want to click space many times, you can just copy paste it. Okay. Now I'll add the surprise. I'll add the mushroom surprise and the coin surprise. So I'll add this is okay. So I told you, right? This is the coin surprise and this is the mushroom surprise. Okay. Now we need to put a Goomba somewhere over here. Now let me just put a Goomba right now. Evil shroom. Where's the evil shroom? It's here. Okay. Now you have the evil shroom. But now you wanna put the ground or the block, which is called over here. So I'm just gonna put a ground, and if you want to end the level, you just click end level and click save. It will save all of that. Then this is you can play the game, and you will have mushrooms and everything. If you want a pipe, you can just click the pipe bottom left or top right. That will do it. Now let us go.
How would someone build this then? It's not a Canvas app, we know that. So how would someone go about going to make.powerapps.com and then building this?
Yeah, I'm just gonna explain what's a web resource and what's HTML, and I'm just gonna talk about my code, the simple two-liner code or few lines code, and I'm just gonna say how to create your own solution and create your own app like this using the Power App.
Okay.
Yeah, let me show you that. I'll just switch to my PowerPoint window, and I'll just start from the current slide. Okay. Now this is a Mario tech stack. I use a model-driven Power App, and I use a web resource. Inside that web resource, I use HTML and JavaScript. Let's learn the basics of HTML and JavaScript. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is the markup language for creating web pages. It consists a series of elements. So elements are pieces of content, like you can heading, button, etc. You can yeah. And what's JavaScript? JavaScript is the programming language of the web, and you can create variables. Variables are containers for storing data. This is a brief explanation of what is HTML and JavaScript. Okay, now let's learn what is a web resource. Web resources in model-driven Power Apps are virtual files that are stored in a Power App. So they are used to implement web functionalities. You can import HTML, put it in there, and it will render it in your HTML Power App. I'm just gonna show that how to make it quickly. Okay. Now you have web resource types. You have HTML web resource and JavaScript web resource and etc. Now let's see how to integrate it with Power Apps. Okay, you need to create a solution called Power Mario and create a HTML web resource for index and game. I'm going to explain what's index and game in just a few moments. I'm going to create a model-driven Power App and configure the sitemap to point to HTML. So index file. So yeah, I'm going to explain how to do that all in a second. Okay, what's an HTML element? You need to know this because if you don't know HTML, you can't know what to create in the web resource. So this is a very basics of HTML. So HTML element is defined by start tag like h1. H1 is heading 1, the largest heading, and some content and end tag. HTML element is everything. The HTML is everything from the start to the end tag. So if you put any content, you can, by the way, you can put HTML elements inside HTML elements also. P is just a paragraph. So the script tag, what it will do, I talked about JavaScript, right? It will load that JavaScript. I'm using a library called Kaboom. That library is a game library which I use to build Mario with. Okay, now let's go see what's a HTML document. You need doc type HTML that says this is a HTML document, and HTML just contains all of the HTML inside it. And the head contains the title, image, and etc. And the body is the main content that will be visible. So you can set a heading or a paragraph, which I explained to you right now. Okay, let's learn what is JavaScript functions. Function is a block of code to design or perform a particular task. A function is defined with a function keyword and followed by a name and followed by parentheses. The parentheses may include a parameter name separated by commas. Code inside the function will execute when something calls the function. Or when on-click event on a button clicks, when the user clicks a button, you can put it on an on-click event, or you can call it from JavaScript code by just saying my function and pass the parameters. Okay, now what is this? This is a sample HTML code which I wrote to make my Mario game work. Okay, so I gave it a title called Power Mario, and I gave it a script source for Kaboom library. Then I'm including, if you don't know what's this URL, there's some gibberish URL. It's the Dynamics Power Apps URL. It's a web resource URL to point to Mario game.js. So let's see what does game.js do. Okay, game.js sets the variables, it loads the root, and it loads the sprites, and it sets up the level configuration. Let us view it in my own editor. Okay, so this is my editor, and you can see the variables for speed over here. So I'm just going to set it for the player to move and crash and etc. So load root, what it does, it loads a root website from you where you get images. So it's just going to do that. So it's saying, oh, here the image service, it points to all of the images, Mario images and coin images. So if you want to load other sprite images, you can just view all of the sprites which are used for this game. Now let me talk about the level configuration. You saw the level configuration in the level builder, am I right? Yeah, so this level configuration will be used by the level builder which I showed you right now a few moments ago, and it's going to associate the sprite with the symbol. So equals means block. There's a user interface for this, by the way, and there's a user interface for this right over here. So I'll just show that after I explain this. So yeah, I'm just gonna say this is a sprite. Equals is a block sprite, and all of these just say that. Okay. Now, if you press a key, say for example the left key is pressed, then we're gonna call a function that moves the player backwards. So I'm just going to say on key down, I'm just going to move the player back, and in the move player back function I'm just going to move it minus. Minus means back and forward means no minus. That's it. Now let me show you the UI interface for building this. Okay, now this is the if you want to modify the configure the level with the UI interface, you can just say over here there's a block on, and you can modify that, and that will modify the level config internally.
So where is it, when you modify the level, does it store your modifications in a model driven app somewhere? Does it store it in the Dataverse database? Is that where it's storing your edits, or is it just storing it on the fly?
It's just storing it on the fly. It's just, I'll just show you where it stores it. Yeah, okay. It's over here. If you go to application and local storage, it sees all the things which it's storing. Level code. It's storing the local storage.
Okay. So essentially you have one level that loads up to begin with, and then if people want to make a change to it, that's fine. But once they've got to the end of the day, then, you know, if they went back to it tomorrow, they would come back to the same base game.
No. It'll be stored in the local storage. So it'll be stored. So I have the sample code, right? I'll just reload this.
Yeah, I think Rory, what you're saying is it's right. The thing is, I think you didn't get the question. The thing is, when you come back tomorrow, if you play the game, the same level will be stored. If you want to change, if to add one more level, you can use the level config to do that.
You can click new level over here. I have a button. Can you see that?
Yeah. So where would the data go and live if you created your new little cool level and you wanted it to be there for the next time you played the game?
No,
where would it go and live?
It
stores in the local storage, not in the
local
CDS
storage.
database. It's in the local storage. There is a you can show
application. This is a.
Can you see this? In the browser.
In the browser, local storage. Can you see this or not?
Yeah.
Rory, I think basically what happened.
Can you see application local storage? Yeah, I think.
Show them level config.
This is the level config code which is being stored over here. It's creating it. So if I modify something over here in the level config, then if I just set it to some nonsense and I just say save, see, it updates over here also in the local storage.
Rory, I think basically that the whole thing is it's all managed by the Kaboom JS libraries.
Right.
And so what happens is that you import it into your Power App, your model-driven Power App.
Yeah, Kaboom.js is not, it's just a game library to just render Mario. That's it.
Exactly. So that is your game.
Yeah, that's my game. But all of the level builder, I just wrote it with Bootstrap 4.
Okay, so it means that Kaboom has created your game and they let you configure the settings that you want to do, but it will store it within your browser. So your browser will basically now collect the settings that you can press the buttons and you can set the settings. That will then store it within your on your local PC as the local settings, and that's what it can use. Just accesses that local storage to the browser. So compare it to your browser cookies or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's different, but similar.
So if we jump outside the tech now, or a little bit outside, effectively we have Microsoft, then we have Power Apps, then we have an environment. Inside an environment, you have solutions, and you have a solution which is your Mario game solution.
I'm gonna show that in a few moments. I just showed you the game JS, right? Now I'm gonna show how to integrate this with Power Apps. Okay, so I'll just show this. So first you should go to, wait, I'll just show you now. Okay, and okay, now close this. Okay, this is the environment, and if you click new solution, you can create a new solution. Can you see this?
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, you can say power. Okay, it's just.
That's unfortunate. Don't worry, that's fine.
Yeah, power Mario, and I'll just say select the publisher. I'll just select CDS, and I'll just select the version which is 1. Then I don't want to create it right now because I've already created a solution called Power Mario. So if you want to create a new web resource, you can do that by just saying, hey, I just want to create a new one and I want it to be a web resource. Click new and you click other and you click web resource. Now you will get to the classic UI interface, the old one, and you can just say your file name. I'll just say test.html. By the way, this name should be unique. If it's not unique, it will just say error, this name is not unique. But the display name should not be, you cannot, if you want, you don't know, it's not unique. So then you can fill the description if you want to. And the main part is how the type 1. So you can choose the type HTML. What your file format ends with, you should choose that. And and if you choose that, you can open the text editor and you can say, this is my code. So just set some default code over here and you can just say hi, hello world or something like that. Hello world, and it will just create a web resource with that content with it.
So this is the glue, just to add, this is the web resource is the glue which ties in. Initially, you just build in the HTML web page and the JavaScript, and web resource is the glue which integrates with Power Apps, right? So then you create an HTML web resource which will actually have HTML for the index HTML, what we already showed, and the other one is the JavaScript which we showed that is used by the HTML. That also you create a new web resource. So this is the glue which actually binds the HTML and JavaScript earlier to the Power App. Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to build pages, or this is how to build a Mario game. This is my sample code. I'll be sharing code in the session. I'll just share it to Nori and he'll publish it in his platform, Learn Academy. And I wanted to say that if children want to create their own web applications or web apps and they don't know coding, but it's only for kids, and this is a web page which I built with my own web page builder. It's called Code. So you can simplify the way you design websites, and you can just say, you can click try it for free and it will take you to my drag and drop editor.
So this is another way. Instead of coding, this is a no code way of building a web page. Like what you showed was HTML. You can do it using code. This is another way for kids. They can just drag and drop, like in Power Apps, right? They can create a web page HTML by just drag and drop. You can just show.
I'm just gonna drag and drop text over here, and I'm just gonna say hello world, and I can set all of these properties over here, CSS properties. I can change the alignment and etc. And I can change the display and position, everything. And if I want to change the dimension, width, height, I can do anything over here. And if you want to see the code, you can see the code right over here. And if you want low code or no code, that's the most interesting part over here. If you want a low code or no code, it's still under development, but if you want a low code or no code UI, I'm just gonna click this link and I'm just gonna click settings, and you can set the on click property. Just for now, I'm just gonna add a few more properties later. So you can just edit it with the block editor, which is a block editor over here. You can put if something, if 1 + 1 is equal to what. You can just if condition, if I'll just put if true for now, if true, then what to do, then you print, and I want to put some text, and I'm just gonna say hello world. This one now, print is just gonna alert. So if I want to run the JavaScript, I'm just going to say, hey, run this JavaScript. So it's going to say, this is if true, then it's going to say alert hello world. So when I execute it, it does that. Now, if you click on this, voila, it says hello world. And yeah, you can export the code over here. And if you want a more Power Apps friendly UI low code one, see, this is a Power Apps friendly. It has all of the functions, most of the functions that Power Apps has. This is add, it will add all of these 5, 5. I'm just going to alert that. It has most of the functions that Power Apps has. And if I just click on it, it'll say 10. So I can edit and modify this code and just say whatever I want. Alert, add. There are many functions over here, and yeah, you can build web apps easily with this. And if you want to keep up to date with my apps, you can just visit techwithaniruddh.tech. It's my domain which I bought a month ago, I think so.
That's brilliant. I think what we'll have to do is we'll have to put when I put the video together, I will put various links to the content that you've created. So just make sure that, you know, perhaps get your dad to drop the bits and pieces out to me, and then we'll be able to include that. So I think that's got us to the end of our November session. Peter has spoken, and he thinks that we shouldn't do a December one. I thought maybe we should do a Christmas card thing. I think me and Craig would probably be up for that. Yeah. So I think last year we did some Christmas cards. They were a lot of fun. Did you remember? Did you do a Christmas card last year? Didn't you, Leo?
I did the advent calendar.
Ah, I did one where there was this. You'd like it, Craig. There was a kind of misty, a kind of a nighttime village, and you basically turned out all the lights. And when all the lights of all the houses were turned out, Santa Claus would sort of like just appear gradually into view by one of the houses. It was quite funny. It wasn't really a Christmas card, if I'm honest, but it was kind of fun, and it did illustrate a lot of interesting things. So we have got to the end of this session. And it's been really interesting. So we got to see Leo do his Yahtzee power app, and some lots of interesting logic going on there. Anirudh sort of took it up to a level that we've not really seen before, because he showed us a model-driven app and some web resources inside model-driven apps. And so really, I think he would probably make a lot of people within the Power Apps community look at things and think, oh, I'm really not sure how to do that, if I'm honest. So thank you so much for doing that. And, you know, we will be sharing when the next events are on. So there's a chance we'll do something in December, but it's more likely that we will put something on in January of next year. So in the meantime, I wish you all a very happy December and happy Christmas period, and I hope to see you all in the new year. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Roy.
Thanks.
Thanks, Anirudh. Thanks, Leo. Cheers, Craig.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy Thanksgiving, Craig.
Thanks very much. Good night.